Because the thing with Clear is you could never have seen Morgan again and it would still be a powerful episode. But the thing that a couple of things stood out for me in Clear. A lot of the moments in it that are stand out to me come from this episode. One is the hitchhiker and the kind of silent,
yeah.
oh, we're not picking that dude up. And then on the way back, they stop by his body and pick up what he
His
has and keep
backpack.
going. It's also, as well as being this really great character piece for Rick and Morgan, it was the episode where I really decided to just full on love Michonne because she is part like petulant teenager, part strong badass woman, part just like great warrior in this episode. And there are a couple of funny moments that I love, which are uh when I think Rick and Carl have been Carl's like quite loudly complaining that he doesn't want Michonne there because she annoys him and is creepy or some bullshit teenage reason. And Rick says something to her and she says something like, "No, Rick, I don't have a problem," which is just delivered in this really deadpan way that I love. Also, when they step into Morgan's house and she starts eating his protein bars, and
That's the best.
yeah, we're eating his food now. Matt said, "Welcome." Like, I just love that, and I think they bring that up later. They're like, "Michonne, when you were in my house, did you eat one of my peanut protein bars?" But my favorite thing is when Michonne kind of understands Carl's mission to get this photo of his family and to provide stuff for his little sister. And she gets it for him. She lays down the law, gets it for him, and comes out with that ridiculous cat papier-mâché thing.
Love it.
And says, "I just couldn't leave this behind. It's just too damn gorgeous." And I'm like, yes, that is brilliant. And I love that Carl Michonne relationship. And yeah, this just really sets it up. So for me, Clear as a whole is still a real standout in Walking Dead lore as a really great episode. And I can't believe it was season 3. It feels more recent than that. But yeah, it's all the way back in 3.
I mean, that's a universally loved episode. It's a Gimple episode. He wrote it before he was showrunner, and that's probably the reason why he became showrunner. And it was a big first dose of a lot of Gimpleisms where you have like weird phrases and things that connect in ways that aren't necessarily clear, no pun intended, and like things scratched on the wall, and it was all really delicious, you know, like that. But I think he tried to keep doing that, and it kind of got to be too much. Like, I don't know. I feel like you're putting your own like thing above like the characters on the show. But for this episode, and even I still kind of liked when he would do it later on, but it got to be a little bit too much. I don't know if you guys kind of get where I'm coming from with this. Like the letter A kept showing up and stuff like that, you know. But in this episode, it was fantastic.
The thing with Gimple, it always reminds me of when Stephen Moffat took over Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat was most famous for doing in the Doctor Who timeline, was most famous for doing the Weeping Angels, which the first episode of was amazing. Like, I can't remember the name of that episode, but it had Carey Mulligan in it, and it was a really standout. Don't look. A really standout episode. But like you say, it had the hallmarks of every single thing that he would then do and do again in his time as showrunner that just got to be so aggravating that it was like, could you just have done it once and let it be good?
Well, I mean, there's this Dexter revival coming out, and I'm really glad, and because and I'm excited because Dexter really shit the bed in the last few seasons, in my opinion, definitely the last episode, and that was when this guy Scott Buck became showrunner, and he also went on to showrun Iron Fist, which wasn't great, and the Inhumans, which I heard sucked. But then I was like, why does this guy keep getting hired? What else has he worked on? And it turns out he wrote several episodes of one of my all-time favorite shows, 6 Feet Under. So I think he's like a prime example of a guy who's a good writer, but not so great of a showrunner. For Gimple, I wouldn't say that. I think he's still like, he was showrunner for seasons 4, 5, and 6, which were really great, and 7 and 8 is where Walking Dead really took a turn for the worst. And maybe it was a combination of just the oppressiveness of Negan and just too much of Gimple doing the same things over and over again or running out of steam or whatever. But he started out really great, in my opinion.
Definitely. So the episode was called Blink, for any Doctor Who fans listening. It was Blink.
It's my favorite Doctor Who episode. The only thing that's kind of tragic about it is there's not much Doctor Who in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Clear that way, isn't it? It's like it takes you out of that kind of, it takes you out of the main, because like when we hit Clear, storyline in the season is all about preparing for this big battle, and it's very governor centric and it's very Woodbury centric. Whereas Clear it's a classic bottle episode. It takes you out of that and is like, oh, let's do some character work. But it actually works, as opposed to, I think, in some later seasons, not specifically a Gimple thing, and definitely happens in other shows as well, is sometimes a bottle episode can feel like treading water or a frustration rather than
there were some Daryl ones in there that were not great. I remember.
Yeah, and like the governor ones were, less better. But Clear to me was just a really good standout one, and I'm willing to stand by that. Despite Fear the Walking Dead, I'm willing to stand by Clear and by Morgan in that episode, because
of course,
it's good. He gives a great performance, and it was the perfect way to bring him back. Was that?
And it's not on my list, but I also loved the Morgan episode with Eastman. That's one of my favorites. Here's Not Here.
Yeah, the cheesemaker.
Morgan's a great character who landed on a bad show.
Yes,
exactly. We were watching the Daryl origins, and it showed the bit where Daryl banished Dwight, and I was like, "You're gonna go to a worse show now. You're gonna go do a nuclear sub now, Dwight." And I was like, "Yeah, that was a terrible banishment. He ended up on Fear."
Yeah.
All right, we got a bad review for hating everything, and I'm like, we don't hate everything. I even liked some of the episodes of Fear. Yeah,
we're very clear about what we hate. Fear. Next question.
But even some of those were pretty great, but some of them are so bad. Anyways, my turn, right?
Yes, number two.
Number two is I bet you this is going to be both your number ones. I don't know, maybe not, but it's Carol discovering that Lizzie killed Mika.
Ooh,
yeah,
those flowers.
That was among a string of great episodes in season 4 leading up to Terminus, and they were all on the road but separated, and it was Tyrese, Carol, Lizzie, Mika, and baby Judith following signs to Terminus. And Lizzie, throughout her introduction, she was a disturbed little girl who thought zombies were just different and not a threat, and they were her friends, and she got mad when people killed them, and she gave them names and said she could hear them talking to her. And she also, I think she like tortured an animal or something, and at one point possibly tried to smother Judith. So she was, and her sister was like this little ray of sunshine.
Oh, and Mika.
Yeah, and so they found a house, and they were staying there for a couple of days, and they were flirting with the idea of maybe just staying there forever. And Mika shot a walker, and Lizzie got really upset about it, just like hyperventilating. And Mika soothed her by telling her to look at some nearby flowers, which I think we'd seen before in the series with her. Just look at the flowers and count to 3. And then Carol catches Lizzie playing with the walker in the yard, who she's named Griselda, and Carol kills the walker, and Lizzie's like, she's my friend and you killed her. And so then Carol and Tyrese go out hunting, and when they come back, they see Lizzie standing over Mika's dead body. And I was like, holy fuck, I can't believe this happened. Yeah. She's holding this bloody knife, and she's got this smile on her face saying, don't worry, she'll come back. I didn't hurt her brain. And Carol and Tyrese are horrified, like, and baby Judith is on the blanket there. And then Carol makes a move for Lizzie, and Lizzie pulls a gun out and points it at her. You need to wait. She'll come back. You'll see what I mean. And Carol's like, okay, let's just take Judith back. It's not safe for her here. And Lizzie's like, but Judith can change too. I was just about to. It's like, dude. And so then, of course, there's that scene with Carol taking Lizzie for a walk and telling her to look at the flowers one last time. Man, that was such a crazy episode. And I remember it too because it was a Walker Stalker weekend, and the actresses for Lizzie and Mika were there, and they had to keep it a secret. And then we watched the episode, and it was like, oh my God.
That was an intense, and again, a Gimple episode. God, okay, I've come to the conclusion that I am too hard on Scott Gimple, and I'm sorry, because that was another really good episode, at least 2 seasons on. Yeah, that's... it says a lot about how much has happened in the show since then that I'd almost forgotten about it till I was like listing things, and I was like, holy, yeah.
Yeah, that was...
what a moment. I guess the scary, impactful thing about the episode is that I don't think any of us think Carol was wrong.
I mean, one thing that happened at the convention after we had watched the episode, I think I watched it together with a bunch of people, and then we did a live podcast, and we asked the question, what do you think about that? And everybody there agreed that she didn't have a choice. It was to protect Judith and probably Tyrese and Carol too. And then Lou Temple came in and grabbed the mic. The guy who played, I always forget his name, Axel. And he was kind of furious. And I think maybe he has somebody in his life who has disabilities or something like that. And he was like, you can't just throw away a child like that, and so he totally did not agree with it, and that was an intense moment, and none of us begrudged it.
About that,
sure, he has some personal experience or something like that, but everybody else in the room was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah
I mean, I think in real terms, maybe I would agree with that, but when you're in the situation that they were in,
the zombie apocalypse,
what do? You can't get her the help she needs, and you can't leave her. You'd have to be on her every minute. If you leave her alone, what would she do with Judith? You saw what happened when she was unattended and what she did to her own sister.
I guess that's, like we could talk about this forever, but
very big debate.
Let's move on.
Move on.
Crazy. Okay. Number 1, Rima.
All right. This was really hard. I have so many on my list, but I'm going to talk about something from season 10 because a lot of mine were old classics, but I want to talk about season 10, the episode Here's Negan.
Oh.
And specifically the birth of Negan as we knew him. I thought, the whole episode itself was just absolutely brilliant. I feel like Jeffrey Dean Morgan never got enough credit for his role and his acting caliber, and I think that was finally recognized in this episode. And of course, his real life wife, Hillary Burton Morgan, playing Lucille. Everything was really brilliant. But seeing the birth of Negan, how we got to know him, this baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, how that all came about, I think was absolutely brilliant, and I loved every single minute of it. And I think it was very well told and well acted, and I think explained a lot, kind of piecing together and giving that backstory to such a huge villain and to who Negan really is.
I think that was everyone's favorite of those 6 additional pandemic episodes that they did.
It was great. It was so good.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it
was a real pleasure to watch.
Even though it's interesting with Negan, I've enjoyed watching his character progression. One of the scenes I went back and watched, it was in the Walking Dead Origins Maggie episode, was when she went into his cell to kill him, but saw that he was so broken down and she didn't bother. And I just thought it was really interesting to show Negan this other side of him. But the more I think about him and after what he did with the Whispers, I just hate him now. I hate him. So I can't, I don't know. There was a period there where, especially when he saved Judith's life, that I started to come around on him. But now now that everybody's looking back on Walking Dead, we're seeing replays of him bashing Glenn's head in and everything. I'm just like, fuck that guy. That's how I feel about him right now. Love the actor, love the way he plays the role. The storyline is awesome. I'm glad he's in it. I'm glad he's still around and we get to see how he and Maggie face off and everything. But as a person, if he was real, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with him.
Oh,
yeah.
Even with that episode, seeing how he, suffered with his wife and was trying to protect her and help her with her cancer and all that. He just took so much glee in torturing people and kept a harem of women and all this stuff. It's like, dude. Anyway, God, I'm sorry. I keep going on and on about that. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jason, are you pro?
What came over me?
I can't remember. Do you like him or not? I forget. Week to week. I'm like,
I know. I haven't said it enough lately. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all right. I'm just as bad with my stuff as well. I wouldn't worry about it.
Anyway, okay. I agree. That was an amazing episode. I'm glad they did it, and I really like the comic. So it was fun that they adapt the Here's Negan comic and everything.
Yeah.
All right, Lucy.
I'm just gonna pick a random one from my back catalog here because I feel like we've hit the big hitters, and that is the tonal shift when we went to the kingdom after the Negan episode in season 7 and meeting King Ezekiel, and the choir singing Bob Dylan songs, and Carol's whole reaction to the kingdom of
Shiva.
Shiva, and just hysterical disbelief and laughter and cynicism just gets me. We meet Jerry, we meet this kind of whole new weird world, and it just really sticks out in my mind as kind of a bit of a tonic after what was probably the most horrible episode. That kind of shift, and I kind of have a lot of affection for Khary Payton for kind of bringing that to the show, because I think it really lifted it at that point where it really needed it, and it set up a lot of interesting things, and his relationship with Carol. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of moments in this show really hinge on Melissa McBride and Carol's performance, because her arc has just been so spectacular. And I just loved that introduction where she sings something like, I have no idea what's going on in the most wonderful way. And yeah, Carol putting on a persona is always a delight, whether it's in Alexandria or in the kingdom or with her children. Like the way that she's such a chameleon, and the way that I think the thing that I really liked about that episode was that she and Ezekiel kind of leveled with each other at the end, and Ezekiel broke down a little bit of why he did what he did, and she softened a little bit. And yeah, I don't know, it sticks out for me as kind of a nice beat in a bleak season.
It does stand out, and I loved it too. And it's a great one to end on, given how heavy some of these are.
So Jason's about to pull out audio of like all the most traumatic ones.
All the deaths in a row.
Deaths.
I'm done. I already did my number one. But what you said made me think of the Carol episode in the pandemic one, which most people thought was boring and pointless.
We liked that one.
I loved it. Yeah. And it just shows how even when the stakes are low, she's still the same old Carol, and rips up her entire home just to get a mouse or whatever it was, a rat.
Oh, the rat, the mouse. Yes.
I can relate to that type of behavior. So I didn't mind it so much either. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites, but I did not dislike it like so many others. I totally relate to that behavior when I get a little obsessive about something.
Yeah.
So
especially in the pandemic, when we've all been locked down for so long, we're like, I'm obsessed
Sometimes
with this
you
thing.
just need to find the fucking remote. Like,
yes, damn it.
Not under the cushions.
Rip the house apart until it is found. I've
Or
been
your
there.
Glasses, and then they're like, your glasses are on your head, and you're like, oh, right. Yeah, cool.
Been there.
That literally happened to me yesterday.
Yep.
Okay, we got, like I said, a bunch of great listener responses, and we're going to read them all. So let's dive in. Rima?
Okay. I lost my, sorry. Okay. First one that we have is from Des Combs, and he says, the barnstorm when they are all working together to hold the door shut. Rick being impaled with rebar, with walkers coming from every direction, mainly because I was surrounded by Zed heads watching, and Sophia exiting the barn.
Yeah, none of us said that one, but that was like the big moment.
It's in my honorable mentions. I've got quite a list, but yeah, it's there. Yep.
Yeah. Dawn Elizabeth, just look at the flowers will always be a big one for me, and Carol's badass attack on Terminus.
Yep. Philip Wayne Lyon says, I like Tyrese for giving Carol too. That's one of the most powerful moments in the whole show. Yeah, for killing Karen and David, which I have not forgiven her for, but good for you, Tyrese.
Oh, Tyrese was nice. I liked him.
So Mike, is it Mulcahy? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Says, in the show, the Terminus season 4 finale episode and season 5 opening episode.
Yeah.
For me, that was when the show was at its very best and reached its highest peak. Some highlights within just these 2 episodes include Rick biting out a claimer's throat. Oh god, I love that one. Rick's they're screwing with the wrong people line, later changed to fucking on the Blu-ray release. Actress Denise Crosby, Tasha Yar, just being there, and Carol's badass assault on Terminus using a bottle rocket and zombie camo. For the comic, it's issues 83 and 84, where the Zeds have invaded Alexandria and Carl gets his eye shot out, and Rick and the community save Alexandria. It all goes down just a little bit differently in the comic, and reading it as it happened month to month was the most blown away and excited I ever got throughout its entire run. Lots of other great moments, but this one in particular just gives me chills every time.
Nice.
Kate Harvey says, so many, but today's choice has to be the bridge scene. Oh,
now when she said
just-
that, I thought, you mean when the van fell off the bridge and then landed right side up? What?
Another iconic moment. I
Outlanded just
rewatching
perfectly.
Daryl's origins and seeing that, I was like, oh, this was really emotionally difficult again.
Yeah, she's talking about Rick. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Explosions and all that. Gemma Hall, the pilot episode, Glenn's death, Herschel's death. Yeah, that was rough. Terminus, Rick saying to Negan, I'm going to kill you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. You're already dead, which turned out not to be true so far. The introduction of Judith Grimes older. Yeah, that was awesome. Rick blowing up the bridge, Daryl feeding baby Judith, the gang breaking into the prison and taking down walkers. Yeah, that was awesome. That was good.
Yes.
Shane's death. There are just so many.
Yeah.
There are so many. We could go on and on. Karen She says, so many standout moments like Shane shooting Otis or Lizzie killing her sister in the Grove. Sophia, Laurie, and Jesus' deaths shocked me the most. It wasn't just Laurie's death, but Sarah Wayne Callie's, Lauren Cohan, and Chandler Riggs' stellar performances through that entire sequence stick with me. The joy of new life with Judith, that emotional goodbye love, the weight of Carl killing his own mother. I'll piggyback off of Megan Dively Lehman, Maggie and Sasha having a moment of respite. Watching the sunrise is beautiful. Literal rays of hope after the storm. Sorry to be cheesy, but I keep a screenshot of that moment as a small thumbnail to remind me whenever I'm despondent and ask myself, why are we here for this? Oh, that's lovely.
Oh. Diane Maythorne says Herschel and Beth's deaths. Yes, both very harrowing. Yep.
Sandy Parsons says Carl eating the pudding.
Yeah.
Total standout moment. I agree.
Yep.
Definitely. Steve Baldwin says revolving forking doors. When Jason retold that, I mean, after that moment in The Walking Dead, I have done my best to just stay away from those if I can not go through those revolving doors for that very reason. Because you never know when it might go when the shit hits the fan, when it all goes down. I don't want to be in one.
Like, who do you trust enough to go through walking doors with? Like, I don't know that there's anyone in my life.
I usually try to.
There's going to be a Nicholas.
I love revolving doors, and I like to try to get in with the person. So it's the two of us. It's really fun.
Jason's just like Buddy the Elf. He just goes round and round and round and then throws up in a trash can. I love that moment. Martha Sharp says, Sophia coming out of the barn. After all that effort to find her, I was thrown for a loop. And Carol killing Lizzie. Yep, good choices, Martha.
Tammy Barr says Morgan confronting Michonne about eating his candy bar.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Carl's death was awful. Glenn looking for wedding rings on walkers. Yeah, I forgot about that. Season 3. Yeah. Herschel's death. Dumbass. That's, you only need to say one word. We know what that is.
Yep.
The little girl at the gas station in season 1, little teddy bear girl, and look at the flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa Tubbs says Sophia's death, Shane's death, Laurie's death, Herschel's death, Glenn and Abraham's deaths, Lizzie and Mika's deaths, Beth's death, Rick's death, etc. Deaths. Oh, and chocolate pudding.
Rick's not dead. Come on.
Beth's death is really hard to say.
It's very difficult to say.
That would be a great band name just to make people have to lisp.
Beth's death.
Beth's death.
Forest Hall has knocked it out of the park with emojis, so I'm going to try and represent this in human speech. Noah's death, door emoji. Beth's death, hospital emoji. Glenn's death, cricket bat emoji. Maybe that's my UK computer rendering that as a cricket bat. Spencer's death, knife emoji. Denise's death, bow and arrow emoji. Well done, Forrest.
So cute. Heather J. Millsap says Sophia coming out of the barn, the look on Herschel's face just before the governor killed him. He looked kind of like, nice try, Rick, but it's not helping. Dale telling Andrea that they've all wanted to shoot Daryl still makes me laugh. Also, when he said if he'd known the world was going to end, he'd have brought better books.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Todd Clegg says Rick and Shane's final showdown.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Megan Dively Lehman says so many that were already mentioned. I'll add a few smaller moments that stuck with me. Laurie and Carl seeing Rick alive for the first time in season 1. Oh yeah, that was good.
Yes.
Maggie and I think it was Sasha having a sunrise moment after the barn tornado, and then seeing Aaron for the first time, and the jewelry box starts playing. So eerie and beautiful and well shot. Militia practice on the beach at Oceanside, perfectly sequenced to show off everyone's varied skills. Tara strolling confidently back up to the Alexandria gate with the orange sunglasses, having seen some shit. Oh,
I'm glad there's a Tara one because she's a great
Tara,
character.
man. Oh, justice for Tara. Carol's greatest hits, hiding in the ceiling tiles and massacring saviors, climbing a tree and dispatching some walkers with a stop sign, Robogun arm in her coat, and so much more. You eating tainted meat. I didn't do justice to that line.
Pretty good.
Glenn and Maggie shacking up, I nearly said that wrong, in the guard shack at the prison and getting caught by the others. Spaghetti Tuesday on a Wednesday. Shiva coming out of nowhere and taking out a savior in Alexandria.
Yes.
And Negan yells, they've got a goddamn tiger and the widow's alive. Guns a-blazing. That is a great line.
So good, Megan. There's so many good ones in there.
Yeah.
So brilliant.
Barbara Kricksky says the lost of Glenn, just one of many.
The Odd Entity podcast says the scene in season 9, I think, when Henry is telling Daryl the reason why Carol's hair is so short. It's just a moment and it's gone, but it holds so much weight.
I had forgotten why, but I asked and he reminded me, or she, that it was because, what's his name? Her abusive husband, Ed would grab her hair. So it was a sort of a symbol when she grew her hair longer and when she was with Ezekiel that, she didn't need to have it short anymore.
Once again, I didn't need my feelings today, so it's a good thing I'm not having to exercise them on this podcast. Maria Lawson says, Rick hearing Glenn for the first time in the tank, Laurie giving birth and then dying, Daryl carrying Beth's body, the tension of the trough and bat sequence at Terminus, the wall breach of Alexandria, and the subsequent shooting of Carl, Noah and the revolving door.
Renee Murray says when Rick bit the man's throat because he said they were going to rape Carl and Michonne. I know that was brutal. But what I loved about that is then he's sitting there with Daryl in the aftermath, and Daryl's apologizing, and Rick says, "We're brothers."
Yeah, you're my brother.
She goes on, and when Rick and Michonne got together, oh my God, I loved it. Any episode with Michonne, I love them together. Heart. I love every episode, period.
Yes.
Laura Willie Swink says, Sophia coming out of the barn was my first jaw drop moment of the show, and then Rick having to put her down. The way it was filmed was horrific and heartbreaking, bitter, and beautiful. Also, Beth and Maggie singing The Parting Glass at the prison. Laurie's dying goodbye to Carl. Herschel, Beth, and Maggie praying as Rick struggles over betraying Michonne. Daryl and Beth burning down the Moonshine Shack. Everyone holding the barn door during the tornado. Glenn trying to tell Maggie he'll find her. Heads on stakes. That was a good one.
Yeah.
The Moonshine Shack. For Henry. Tara,
Enid.
And the guy that we met the episode before who looked a bit like Luke. R.I.P. man.
And freaked you out. You were
really freaked me out
when you realized it wasn't him.
I was like, God damn it, it's not Luke. And then I realized it wasn't. And I was like, everything's fine.
It's fine.
My favorite moments are when Luke lives. The Moonshine Shack had an amazing Mountain Goat song playing over it as well. I always remember that for that. Elizabeth Schmoopel says, Rick opening the train car door at Terminus. He looked like Superman in that moment when Rick tells Daryl that he's his brother.
Yeah. Sarah Tomlin says so many, but for me, more of the earlier episodes, because the longer it goes, the less I like it. But Rick waking up in the hospital, the Horde taking over the farm, that's a particularly good one, yes. Realizing in Atlanta, everyone already hosts the virus, so there's no chance of escape or vaccine. Carol's daughter coming out of the barn, first introduction to Michonne, the governor taking down the prison fence, Michonne chopping off his head, and then, of course, Glenn's death. And for some reason, Rick on top of the camper when Negan took him out to a bunch of biters. Yeah, that was intense, too.
Intense. Yep. Tara Noyola says, Season 4, Episode 1, when the strange lady Clara in the forest outside the prison takes Rick to her husband, and she ends up stabbing herself in the stomach. Then she asks Rick what his 3 questions were. Clara answers Rick's 3 questions before she dies. Clara, what were the questions? The 3 questions. Rick says, how many walkers have you killed? Clara says, Eddie. Eddie killed them all until... then Rick says, how many people have you killed? Clara whispers, just me. Rick Grimes says, why? Clara breathes out, you don't get to come back. You don't get to come back from things you don't. And then Clara passes away in front of Rick. And she says, that scene has always stood out to me.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that scene.
She was like randomly Irish as well. I didn't want to tell you before you read it in case you felt compelled to have to do it all in Irish accent.
I've been chided multiple times on my own podcast on Strange Indeed to stop doing accents. So no. I was not going to attempt that.
It's so weird in The Walking Dead when people have like British or Irish accents. Like I always get that with Yumiko. I'm like, why are you British? And then, yeah, I mean, obviously British and Irish people live in America, but it always freaks me out for some reason. Yeah. Pat Regan says, what the hell are you going to do now? Sport. Rick takes a massive chomp out of Joe's neck, spitting his leftovers for everyone to see. Joe's gang is so shook that Rick and the gang get the jump on them because they're smooth AF like that. Boom. Another retired Sheriff Rick saving the day moment. Yeah.
Wyman Owens says the heads on Pikes. I was not ready for all the killing and who the Whispers killed. Enid, Tara, Henry. I think that moment hit me more than when Negan home runned Glenn and Abraham. That's one way to put it.
Ouch. Is it Charmin or Charmin? Hetherington.
I'm guessing Charmin.
Okay, Charmin Hetherington Todd. My all-time favorite is Carol and Daryl reuniting after Carol rescued everyone from Terminus. I love their friendship. I don't want them to be a couple.
No.
I agree.
Sorry, I've just seen what mine is. Murphy O'Connor says, sorry, Dolphin Smooth. Sorry.
Which is great. We needed a Cudlets one.
Yeah.
That and when
the pancake batter.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you make pancakes?
Yes.
Which led to like this huge charity movement of people bringing Bisquick to Walker Stalker. And all
Yep.
Robert Parker's Sophia coming out of the barn. Nothing has come close to that for me.
Yeah.
Kristen Crabtree says, worst deaths, Herschel and Beth's, badass moment, Carol's gun coat and Shiva attack the saviors from nowhere, creepy zombie, little girl in episode 1, and the spider zombie at the museum, and character, Jerry, and dog.
Always dog. Why wasn't dog all of mine? God. Anyway, Lena Yoros Winter says, hearing Hey Dumbass and then seeing Glenn, Rick and Carl's reunion in season 1, Michonne's appearance in the woods, Carolina saving the day at Terminus, Rick's throat bite, Bob's hysterical laughter when he comes to after his leg is amputated, spaghetti dinner with Negan and Carl, Daryl and Rick hugging at Hilltop, look at the flowers, our intro to Jesus. I could go on.
Diana Driscoll says Rick waking up.
Barbie Allen says Rick waking up from his coma, the downfall of Herschel's farm, Carol's one-woman attack on Terminus, the group's arrival at Alexandria, the group defending Alexandria against the first horde of walkers. These are a few of my very favorite moments.
Johnny Storer says Noah's death, still up there in brutal deaths. Yep.
And last, Simon Wooster, Rick in the helicopter.
Yeah.
It's interesting how few Negan moments we had in there. I'm serious. Like you'd think with how big of a part of the show he is now. Anyway,
yeah, fair.
That was super fun. I love it. I love how we all speak the same language. So with just a couple of words, sometimes just one, we're all picturing the same thing. You know, that's really neat.
Like Abraham having no body hair.
yeah, exactly.
TMI.
Won't even get into the Bisquick one. Okay.
Oh, God.
Let's take a break real quick. There's more to come. Stay with us.
Threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're
All messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
So, a couple items of note. In case you weren't paying attention, they did recently have the stay-at-home version of San Diego Comic-Con last weekend. And, of course, we had some Walking Dead news that came out of there. So, we did get the first full trailer for the upcoming final season of The Walking Dead. You can go out there and find it. It's everywhere. Google it. It's on YouTube.
I haven't watched it yet. Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
well, it's not too spoilery in my opinion, but I know a lot of
Bunch
folks
of tiny
don't like to
bits.
watch. Yeah, just
Yeah.
some tiny bits, and the way that they edited them, I feel like is always a little bit deceitful. So I don't know that it really gives a whole lot away. But be sure to check out the trailer. It's out there. The final season will premiere on August 22nd on AMC and a week early on August 15th on AMC Plus.
Oh my god, that's so soon.
I know it's because it usually premieres in October, so they're really pushing it up this year. And the final season of the series was originally slated to premiere back in October of last year, but they pushed it back due to production delays as a result of COVID. And this final season consists of 24 episodes. It will be split into 3 episode airing blocks, concluding sometime in 2022. But the first block is 8 episodes, again, premiering on August 22nd. Season 11, here we go.
I'm pretty sure I read that the second block will start in 2022. So I think after I don't know if that's right, but I think after these 8, starting in August, we won't see The Walking Dead again until early next year. And then they'll wrap it up at the end of the year. Yeah. Which is cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, stretch it out, make it as long as you can. I know on the and this isn't spoiler, but on the trailer when they start it says something to the effect of the beginning of the end. Since it's like the final season, that made me cry so hard just knowing that, like but seeing it in black and white was like very stark.
I think they're kind of saying trilogy, aren't they? Like 3.
Yeah, a trilogy. of episodes, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So also, Jason, you mentioned earlier when we were talking about The Walking Dead and being on Netflix and the seasons available. In case you weren't aware, everyone out there, Walking Dead Season 10 is now streaming on Netflix. All right, one other quick item that I have. I know that this will completely delight Lucy, and that is Fear the Walking Dead. For those that are interested, I feel like I'm just the reporter. They have confirmed that season 7 will premiere on October 17th on AMC. So that should be after The Walking Dead proper has aired their episodes. Sounds like that's when Fear will return. So
that does make me happy because it just makes me realize that I don't have to do anything for it. But I'm going to watch it, and I'm sure I'll have a word or two to say on the podcast, but not like full coverage.
I and I don't blame you at all for that decision. It's just, anyway, I mean, I'll watch just so I can see what's happening, because I think, I don't want to spoil anything that might come up, but I think there could be some things that relate to Walking Dead proper, so I at least want to be in the know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I'll watch because I don't like myself and want to be in pain.
Torture.
Yeah.
Masochist, yeah.
Yep, totally. One final item from Deadline.com. So less than a month before Walking Dead kicks off its 11th and final season, the long and bitter legal war between former showrunner Frank Darabont, CAA, and AMC is finally over.
No way. This has been on for like a million years.
Yeah, ever since he left the show. So what happened? He got like $200 million payout or something, right?
AMC filed paperwork with the SEC declaring that they have paid out $200 million to Frank Darabont and the agency CAA to end the dispute. So, they provided a cash payment of $200 million, they said, to the plaintiffs, and future revenue sharing related to certain future streaming exhibition of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, which I think is definitely interesting timing, because seeing as how The Walking Dead is getting ready to wrap up, but then out of that, there are all of these other spinoffs. So this kind of wraps up this payout kind of finalizes all of that they can't seek any future revenue from any of these other projects that are getting ready to take off that was basically a start of. So kind of interesting that with the timing of everything.
Well, I'm glad it's wrapped up, and that seems like a pretty good sum for him. So hopefully everyone's happy.
Absolutely. I hope so. It's been a long time in the works, but so yeah, that's it.
We were gonna talk about Walking Dead Origins, which is this basically 4-episode clip show series that's airing on AMC Plus right now. They've done a Daryl episode and a Maggie episode, but since we're going a little long, I thought we would just wait and talk about it next time when we've seen the remaining 2, which are going to focus on, I think, Carol and Negan, which I'm excited to see the Negan one.
Yeah, I need to watch those.
So we'll bring that up next time.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Rima.
Sure.
All right, that is our show, episode 437. Thank you, as usual, for listening, everyone. Excited that Walking Dead is starting up again and to go into this final season with all you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Rima. Hope you come back and cover a couple of episodes with us in the final season.
Absolutely. I would love to. It would be an honor. Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.
Cool. Well, if you guys want to give us a call, as always, you can reach us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can email us at brains@podcastica.com.
And you can find us on the web at facebook.com/podcastica.
Just want to remind everyone that we get most of our comments that we read on the podcast through that. Most people comment on Facebook, and because we got the Walking Dead cast Facebook page taken away, we've moved over to that one, facebook.com/podcastica. So if you want to be a part of that, you'll see a post every week for each episode. You can comment on it and we'll read a bunch of them on the podcast. Just go and like that page at facebook.com/podcastica. Thank you guys. Also, be sure to check out our other shows at podcastica.com, like Strange Indeed, which you guys just recently finished covering Stephen King's Lisey's story, right?
Yes, we just wrapped that up, and we just started this week covering the Netflix show Sweet Tooth,
which looks really interesting. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks really weird and quirky and cool.
So far, yes.
You did one episode?
Yes, it not yet public. Well, I don't know if it'll be published by the time this episode releases, but we just recorded it yesterday, so it'll be released this week.
Cool.
I nearly picked up the graphic novel in our local comic book shop the other day, and I was very tempted.
Oh, if you do, let me know.
I like the writer Jeff Lemire. I've read some of his other stuff, but not Sweet Tooth. But I know Mr. Blog was into that.
Oh, that's a good recommendation.
Also, House Podcastica, we a few weeks ago interviewed Bruce Miller, the showrunner of Handmaid's Tale, and that was super great. He was so great, such a great guy. He did that because he tweeted out that he liked the podcast. So we're like, well, come on the podcast, and he did. And that was fantastic. And it was an amazing season of Handmaid's Tale too, by the way. And then we decided that next we're covering Marvel's What If, which premieres August 11th. I'll have a rotating series of co-hosts. Kirk Manley's going to be my first guest, and Rima will be on there too, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Very appropriate for Kirk to be on there.
Next episode of this podcast will be our long-awaited season 10 wrap-up crossover with Chris and Jason of The Talking Dead. That will be out in a couple of weeks, and it will help get you guys all caught up and ready for season 11.
Yay!
Jason might actually invite me before then. So, I might make an appearance.
Whatever.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it is going to be good. It's going to be fun. And all right, that is our show.
Thanks for listening.
Don't get bit, Amy Haskett.
What does it mean to live for the common good? Introducing the Garrison Institute presents The Common Good, the brand new podcast from the Garrison Institute, a leading not-for-profit organization exploring the intersection of contemplation and engaged action in the world. Hosted by me, Jonathan F.P. Rose, a co